I had shared with you some frustrations that I had with Joe Rogan outing Colby Covington's approach to marketing. Brendan Schaub responded to what I said about Joe Rogan. And just to recap for you, what I had said about Joe was that he is an insider who is revealing secrets of the business to outsiders, which is the audience. To which Brendan responded the following.
Chael was so upset. It's like Rogan got on there. You know what? And as who's on there with him, Anik, he's like, you know what, Anik? I actually talked to Kobe before the fight, and he told me what he plans to do is go in there double leg right away. And if the double leg doesn't go well, he's looking for a head snatch. After the head snatch, he says the guillotine's there, and every time RDA steps to his left, he's gonna throw a right high kick. He didn't give away his goddamn game plan. So it's like Chael's so upset that Rogan's pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, and oh, here he is. You know, he's been doing this magic trick. No, I think Chael, the audience is not that naive. We all know this, and he's almost, you know, what Kobe's doing is he's going the Floyd Mayweather route where we're tuning in to see him lose. So it's a little dramatic. I get it. I agree. Rogan doesn't need to do that. I also don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think that affected pay-per-view at all.
All right, so my response to the response. Let's take this thing apart. I mean, first off, I wasn't looking for a back and forth on this. I didn't think this was going to turn into something, and I still don't believe that it necessarily is. I don't think anybody's going to war here, but should we, I will be standing my ground. Now, let's break down a few things that Brendan said there right out of the gate. Okay, he closes by saying, I don't think that affected pay-per-view at all. Well, Brendan, excuse me. I won't pick on you for that one. I'm going to assume that you misspoke. He said it during the pay-per-view. So, yes, I think we can fully concede to the fact it did not affect pay-per-view buys. To speak to the beginning of your premise, you were coming at it from a standpoint that I said that Joe was revealing some kind of insider information. You were speaking about the fight itself, and you used the example that it was his game plan. If he steps left, right, and then he steps left, and then there's this guillotine there. We're coming at this from two different approaches. I'm speaking about the business, and you're responding about the sport. So right off the cusp, I don't feel that you're understanding what my message is. So I'm going to attempt to say it yet again. I am not talking about the sport, and so many people want to defer back to the fact that this is a sport. First and foremost, this is a business that presents to the audience a sport. First and foremost. I think that everybody understands that, but I'm going to lay that out anyway. I will concede to the point that, yes, I don't need to be as pissed off as I was. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. It has happened time and time again. And for me to be irritated that somebody from inside the metal apron is outing another guy from inside the metal apron is a point that I stand by. It is an industry secret. Sure it is. And Brennan, I got to tell you, to the message that you said, I don't think Joe's, you said pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. I think you mean revealing the wool, removing the wool from everybody's eyes, because we all know what Colby is doing. That's where that you and I've got a disagreement here. That's where you are flat wrong. And so many people in businesses, not just this one, when they live in the business, as Brendan does, as I do, as Joe does, you get so close to the trees you can't see the forest. To make a statement that we all know what Colby is out there doing, that's because you're an insider. And you don't step back to 10,000 square feet and look at this objectively. People make this mistake all the time, but it was the mistake in your rebuttal to my comment. Scott Coker and Dana White, the leaders of this business, will happily admit to you anytime that the hardcore fans who you speak to, Brendan, and who I speak to, who you and I make our living off of, the hardcore fans who you identified as everybody knows, represents 15% of this marketplace. There is another 85% out there that tune in, that come to the shows, that drive the actual business. They are far more important than the 15% business-wise. That doesn't mean we don't serve the 15%. Of course we do. We love our base. We want that 15 to become 18, to become 21, to become 30. Sure we do. But when you look at this thing objectively, no, they don't. You are wrong, Brendan. You and I understand it because we spend our lives in the gym and in front of these microphones and in front of these guys because we never miss a card, because we know when somebody is seeking attention. We know when somebody has true skills. We know when those two worlds come together. We know what we're looking at. But 85% do not. And it is wrong that somebody from within inside that metal off apron discusses what another guy within that metal off apron is doing to the audience. It is none of their goddamn business, and you're wrong about that. You're talking about a business from a promotional standpoint that is based on evoking emotions. Stone Cold and The Rock were masters of evoking emotion. But when they sat down in that room and closed the door and figured out how they were going to do that when their music hit those speakers and they walked into the paying audience, there is a reason nobody put a camera on that meeting and revealed it to the audience, because it's none of their business. And any business, in any single promotional business, if somebody is doing a marketing campaign or building a commercial, nobody within that business gets to then go reveal to the audience, well, yeah, you know, we were doing that because we were trying to get your money, and, you know, we kind of wanted you to go in this direction, and here's what we wanted you to feel and we wanted you to think. It doesn't happen. They would be removed immediately. And that is my point. And yeah, I didn't need to be as upset I was about that. I will concede that to you, but it was a straw that broke the camel's back. How about you just tell the truth? Because that's where Joe's coming from anyway. He's going, yeah, I don't want to, you know, came along in the 90s, back when it was about the punches and kicks, and yeah, you know, we fast forwarded, and we're in the entertainment era, but nobody's going to control me. If I see something, I'm not going to fall for it, I'm not going to look like I fell for it. Okay, great. That's not a helpful